This is Jonas Hellborg. Jonas is, well, I'm here. He's going to tell you a bit of his story, I guess, probably within some of this. No story. Okay, so I'll tell the story. Fine. As of now, he's one of the world's most renowned 3-string bass players. But he's about to become one of the world's most renowned 4-string bass players before your very eyes.
Yeah.
Jonas's career spans, what? When did you start? 35 years?
Yeah, 35, 40 years.
35, 40 years. Notable within that was a fairly long-running relationship with the guitarist John McLaughlin, both in Mahavishnu, which was the reboot of Mahavishnu Orchestra, kind of built around his relationship with Jonas, and then a duo project with him, and then a long-running collaboration with the producer and occasional bassist Bill Laswell, which resulted in Jonas playing on album by Pill, Public Image Limited, which was John Lydon's band, which is an extraordinary record, and quite a piece of history to be a part of. But then, I think perhaps more significantly, it's Jonas's solo career and the series of collaborations, the vast majority of which were released on his own label, Bardo, and has resulted in a bunch of work that influenced me enormously when I started out. That we've been friends for about 15 years, but for quite a long time before that. His music was one of the benchmarks of what was possible with bass as a solo instrument, and I know that both Andy and I were epically influenced by that. So yeah, you're going to get to hear words, ideas, music, and an insight into the mind.
We will see.
We'll see where we get to.
Yeah.
But give a very warm hand for Jonas Hellborg.
While we start, I will try to put this string on here that I broke yesterday. So, I assume you all play music. Yeah? Why?
We enjoy it.
Good answer. Good answer. So,
to give us an alternative of a standard 9-to-5 job in the future.
so it's a way of making money.
No. The way of life in how you listen to it, how you play it, and being a part of the experience is when you see it live.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you want to achieve with it? Where do you want to get with it? Why do you come to this school? Why are you in school to?
To be able to contribute to what art is.
Contribute what? Why do you think you have something to contribute?
Yet to discover that.
Huh?
Yet to discover that.
Yeah. Well, rest of you, do you know why you play music? Do you have? Do you ever think about it? Do you?
It's better than speaking for you. Than to speak is better to sing or play.
Okay, sure. Why?
The mood that gives you.
Huh?
The mood that gives you.
Sure.
Makes you forget about.
Well, there are drugs for that.
We need to forget.
We need to forget, but even alcohol is a great inducer of that state of mind. But but that is, I mean that's a little piece of the puzzle here is what you first said, that it kind of replaces speaking. What is speaking? Right. And what is wrong with words?
Their height.
Their what?
Their height.
Their height?
What we actually feel.
The height, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Their liberty.
yeah, but the words often mean different things to different people, or almost always. It's very rare that we understand the same word the same way, which means that we can have long discussions with people and we think we're absolutely in agreement, but but actually we remember the conversations as being even being about totally different things. There's one thing about music that is that once you're in the space of music, and when it's strong, then everybody is basically you tune everybody into the same emotions, same excitement, same sadness, same anger, whatever it might be, and it is a much more direct form of communication than what words is. However, what about that? Right in tune. Of course, literature often deals with words in a mystical way, so it's not the actual verbatim meaning of the words that means something. It's what the emotions that induces, which is like music, right? But then you get to the point here. So again, why do we play? Yeah, you have a point here.
Music's a universal language. Can't always express what you want to say purely with articulation and communication skills. It's a different form of communication, and although like music around the world works differently, they have their own scales and modes and patterns and things, it's still universal. It's a way of communicating because all humans understand each other no matter the language. They still can like get the vibrational frequency of
Right.
someone and feel
Yeah. If it's Michael Jackson, yeah. Basically. But but that's true. But really, what you really have to go back into the fundament of who you are. Like because we all come. If we play music, we do it because at some point in our life we got so excited with the whole idea of sound and our relationship to sound that we decided that this is what we want to do. And as you enter into this journey of becoming a musician, you get hit with all these cultural, social factors that puts an identity on you. Or we see an identity, you see somebody becomes your idol because you hear the sound, you get excited about it, and then you see a person representing this sound, and then you think that this person is who I want to be, because and then all the things with money and fame and all that come into being also, and you realize, okay, this guy is making tons of money. Yeah, I want to be that too. I want to be, and then your vision gets skewed. You start to look at the exterior aspects of making music, which actually has nothing to do with music anymore, and you start to go for that, and you forget what is the actual how do you even say it, like the music that excites you. Where is it? What is the sounds that you want to make that really resonates with you? What is your sound? What is your musical reality that is not influenced by external forces like what everybody else likes, or what somebody tells you should really play this or you should study this. And when you get to that point that you're okay, I am really into this, and this is what I want to develop, then the problem arises. How do you even learn and start to understand it? Because people will come with some sort of musical theory, saying that okay, here you go. There's a tonality. Here's a chord. This is how it's done. This is how this guy did it, and this is, and you lose perspective of the simplicity of what it is to make a sound. because again, come back to the idea. Why do you play music? What physically is it that makes us react to sound? And this is something I don't really have the answer for it. I don't know if there is an answer for it, but there is a relationship with sound that all human beings have in the simplest form. And before you even get to the point where you put them together to become songs, to melodies and all that, it's just the resonance of sound that affects us. But what we do is that we just rush into this concept of music, of say, okay, you say you're just simply you're into pop music. You hear a song and you really love the song, and you start singing it. You start learning to play guitar a bit. You figure out what the chords are, and then you start playing it. And at that point, you lost a big part of what this really is, because somebody tells you, oh yeah, that's C and G and F, and you play those like that, and then you sing the melody on top of it. Then these blocks just becomes blocks that, yeah, they produce a sound, but you do not have a real understanding of a C chord. What is a C chord? Why is that actually something that moves us or provokes us? And the more you get the knowledge of these things, they become conceptualized to the degree that you are just, you hear it, you know what that combination of notes is called, and it seems like you really know it, because you know, okay, if I put that chord and that chord and that chord together, it's that scale and it's that tonality and it's that thing. But you lose the fundamental forces of music, which is really what moves you to begin with. Are you still with me, or am I starting to get too spacey? Because I really need you to interact with me, because otherwise it just becomes somebody speaking for 1.5 hours, and I don't even know if I'm actually talking to you or talking above you. So, are you all deaf? Or are you mute? Or what's going on?
I'd say a big part of that is, for me, is that the music I want to hear, the music inside of me, I don't hear it externally. So I'm driven to create the sounds that touch me in the external world, to share them, because I don't hear it in the external world, it's internal. So to be able to share it and express it is part of this. The drive is to create something that doesn't exist.
But I would like to object to what you just said there. You can't really hear it internally if you haven't heard it externally. There has to be the elements of what you want to hear.
There are elements, but not in the form that's...
Right. No, exactly. There was... Picasso once said that the art is... An artist is trying to draw a perfect circle, and his incapability of doing the perfect circle, that is expressing his personality, right? So we hear these things and we see these things and we're trying to do something, and it is when we fail in doing what our vision is that is what becomes what we do. And how do I connect to what you just said? Why did I reflect that way?
Well, it's not thinking that... There's accepting that what comes out. I mean, there's idealizations of what it should be, and then there's the actuality.
Yeah.
And then that is also reflecting who you are, rather than who you think you are.
Yeah. But exactly. And it's also is what you're saying is this, that we have this connection to what we resonate with what we hear, what excites us, and it's just open-ended. It's like individual. It's like each one is. We're all individuals. Right. you got to tell me about yourselves a little bit. To tell to somebody, anybody, say what music are you into? Why? You, for instance. Yeah, you.
Quite like Square Pusher and Apex Drum. They're like my big ones that I listen to a lot.
Okay, what do you play?
Bass.
Okay. So why do you like Square Pusher? Because of the music as such, or the bass playing in it?
Bit of bass, a lot of the composition as well, and the sort of soundscapes that you can create, and also just like a lot of compositional stuff. It's not so much I like him because he can play bass really well. It's I like the songs that he creates with this skill on bass.
Okay. Do you all know who he is?
Yeah.
All of you? Okay. Well, there is there's a lot of fast bass playing on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So why is that attractive?
Well, it's not just the fastness of how fast.
No, but if you say, because really, if you start to think about music and you start to analyze music, there are lots of reasons to analyze music. You need to understand, okay, what notes and what rhythms and what are they playing. That helps to understand what the palette of things you can use for playing. But it also is important to analyze things in the sense of why does this affect me? What is expressed by this parameter of the music? So I'm asking you, what is it in this particular aspect? Because what does signify Square Pusher in a certain way is the electronic beats and the fast bass playing, which is kind of a novelty idea when it came around, because there was no electronica or electronic music that kind of combined those two elements. But he's not playing long, slow, fretless melodies on top of these beats. He's sort of like a Jacko clone on top of it. So what about that playing is, since you're a bass player, you must be attracted just to that type of bass playing.
Well, not just to that. I do like.
No. But you don't have to defend. You don't have to defend yourself. It's not a criticism. I'm just curious.
I'm just making clear. But
yeah.
I think it is impressive when someone can do something that you can't do, and to a level, to a degree that you can't do. I found that, say, if you go online, you can't find videos of people doing glass blowing or painting and stuff. I think you naturally are like, you think, wow, that's something that I can't do, and therefore I find that I'm impressed by that, and I like that. I'm intrigued as to what they can do, which I can't. I think it's nice to know where your limits are, and sort of what other people can do and how they're better than you.
Yeah,
so when he plays fast bass, it does impress me, and it does make me go, wow, he is really good at playing bass. But then he can also, he's doing compositional stuff, like he can play melodies which I wouldn't think of, or I wouldn't have thought of to do. He knows all sorts of jazz theory that I probably don't know, and he knows how to make certain sounds that I don't know, have a clue how to make. And so I think that's impressive in terms of what the how fast he can play bass and is.
Are you trying to emulate it?
I don't try to emulate it, as in like, I don't copy it. Well, I have made songs in his style, just as a sort of, to really understand what he's doing. Or to try and go, oh well, it's not just a breakbeat and playing bass over top, because I've got a breakbeat and a playing bass, and it doesn't sound as good. And so you sort of see the real difference, like the details in which that he's better than you. I don't think I would like to go, I'm the new Square Pusher, I make music like Square Pusher. I'd like to be influenced by him. But
Okay. Let's break it down. Let's take a few things out of what you said here. Let's start at the end here. You say he's better than you.
Yeah. I think he is, my opinion at least.
how do you define better? What is better?
Well, again, I think he can play stuff which I would never be able to play.
Well, that is true about anybody compared to anybody. You know, I'm sure there are things that you can play that he can play.
Right.
So that is not a valid. You know, see, this is at the core, again, of what it is to play music. You know, music. Again, if we go back to what you said, music is a language. You know, if you're reading the telephone book, it's still in English, but it really doesn't mean much, right? So, if you are reading a play by somebody, you're expressing somebody else's thoughts. The whole purpose is that you express something that is you. And why do you do it? You do it because it is important for your own health as a human being to output what you experience and synchronize that with the rest of the human community. Because if you don't, you go bonkers. You go to the loony bin. I mean, we have lots of outputs for it. Of course, we can just go and have a coffee and talk to somebody. That helps. But basically, what drives us to do this music. But then, if you identify so hard with somebody else's music that you want to do the same thing, and you compare what you do to that music, you can never reach it. If you don't understand who you are musically, you can never do anything significant. And the whole process is, yes, it's good to learn what other people have done and to copy and to transcribe things, but at the heart of it, that is just an exercise in understanding. That is just analysis. That is just understanding what has happened before. That is just accumulating the understanding of the tradition that you're operating in, and then the music is the output. The music is not. You don't get inspired by music to make music. You're supposed to get inspired by life to make the music that you want to use to tell your story, right? So if you play something that you really feel for, it cannot be any worse or any better than Square Pusher, because basically, as long as it is you and it's your honest expression of what you can say and within the capacity that you can say it. And here, this is where technique comes in, because always when you learn instruments, you're dealing with the ability to play your instrument on various levels. And that is totally insignificant, because whatever your vocabulary is, as long as you can express what it is that you want to express, it's fine. A kid can express its desires as well as a professor at Oxford can. It's just the kid does it in much simpler terms, but he gets the point across. You know, so it's not the complexity of the musical language. It is, are you saying something, and is it relevant to what you need to express?
I still think that if I listen to a Square Pusher song, and there's something sonically which I like, it's as if, relating to the language thing, it's as if he said a word which is the perfect word for what I think.
Yeah, great.
It's like he's got a new set of dictionary, that new words which I can then use in.
Sure, and then you learn that word, and then you incorporate. Then that is yours. You know, yeah.
Did you say that the music that we did, the music that we actually like to listen to, can feel like a translation of our own personal philosophies, in which sometimes only we can connect to, or once a week I exert to other people, in the idea that humans made up a million qualities, and their side of anger and hatred and love and everything. When we hear songs of different styles, so acoustic music, jazz music, and all these different things which are made of different expressions, we kind of connect them because it connects to the thing that's most personal to
Let me totally contradict myself. Because basically there's nothing new in the world. There's nothing new in the world, including in music. Everything has already been done. You know, we're not inventing anything. We are just we are just human beings, and we go through the process of being human beings. We are born, we are kids, we grow up, we have the same sort of excitements, and it's very similar. And human culture has been expressed the same way for thousands of years, right? So when we play something, it comes from somewhere else. You could look at it as we are mirrors reflecting light that comes from thousands of years ago. So of course, yes, we, all these ideas that we have, be it in literature or politics, philosophy, religion, music, painting, everything. It's there already. It's just we are expressing it, and we are not inventing it. But as you say, we have this input, and then we connect this with that, and then we create our own world and we put it out. It is absolutely unique, and it's totally generic at the same time.
That's as a response to what Fire was saying, this idea that originality is about the complexity of the synthesis, that you're not generating anything that's kind of fundamentally new, you're combining things in a way that reflects who you are in your point of time.
Yes, and no, but there's another important. I'm always lost for words. Dynamic here that is very important to understand and adopt, and that is the whole paradoxical reality of reality. Is that and we in the Western world have this desire to believe that there is only one truth. But totally opposite things can be absolutely true. You know, you don't have to think about things that in order for something to work, everything has to logically lock in and fall in place. You can believe totally opposite things at the same time, because depending on the situation, it works. And another thing that me and Steve discussed in the car the other day is that we cannot we cannot accept the idea that there is something that we don't understand or we don't have an answer for. We cannot just say, I don't understand that, or that part of it, we don't have an answer for it yet, or I don't understand it yet. And it's extremely important to accept that view, that okay, I do not have to have an opinion on that. I just don't understand it. You know, and if you say things that are totally contradictory, just accept the thing that this is the best way you can explain that right now. So where did that come from?